Line delivery felt really off. Same with Maggie. Yep, I said it. Like,
I had a feeling we were gonna fight about this.
Every time she said. Hey, so.
Oh, wait, we're starting.
Welcome to another recap of the Legends of Super Flarrow universe. See, I got that down. First off, we have Supergirl, Season 2, Episode 13, Mr. and Mrs. Mxyzptlk.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. I did not hate this episode like I thought I would.
Yay!
I did not.
I kind of had a feeling. I was like, I don't think Jadon's going to hate this so much. I did not enjoy it as much as I thought I would.
Yeah.
However, I did still really like the episode.
Yeah. I think, for me, it was... I didn't hate the things I expected to hate, but there were still things that I did not like at all. But we can get into that later. But what did you think of Mxyzptlk?
I love him.
So do I.
Absolutely love him. The actor was great.
He was.
He was underused. I feel like...
Really?
I think so. I think he was way underused. So, just real quick, so we had the main plot of this episode was Caramel. Like, Kara and Mon-El.
Oh, I was like, what?
Yeah, Caramel, the ship names.
Yeah.
You got Kara and Mon-El, Sanvers, Wynn got a girlfriend.
The Return of Space Aids.
Yes,
I
indeed.
wrote that in my notes.
It's just gonna keep coming back.
But I actually liked it. I actually liked it.
And then we have the one fleeting moment of Jean and Magan that actually sets us up for how Kara beats Mixie. But that's really all that happened in this episode. A lot.
Yeah, it was...
So I feel like, yes, I feel he was underused. He was hilarious, and the actor's timing on his line deliveries and just the right amount of cheese, and I really enjoyed him.
Yeah, I mean, usually I don't know, Supergirl has this way of when they use their references to other, like he referenced Aladdin, that was like the first thing he referenced. Usually it makes me roll my eyes.
Show you the world.
But yeah, like somehow the way he said everything, all his lines and made his references, I really dug it. So
I've not seen Hamilton, obviously, because I'm not a billionaire. But I have heard of it, and I immediately knew when they started to duel on a stage. I was like, oh, they're making a Hamilton joke. The Broadway show.
I was just thinking of the duel that... Wasn't there actually a historical duel?
Oh yes, but
so.
they are not referencing the actual historical duel. They are. Oh. It's all about the show, because they even make a nasty woman line or something like that. That just is all over the interwebs. But that was I really loved him, and he was horrible. Like, he is just completely immature and doesn't understand how love works, and oh, he's Mon-El. Huh. Crazy how that works. Yeah. We'll come back to that.
Yeah. I was just thinking that. I was like, it's basically just Mon-El out of control.
He somewhat makes you feel for him at the end, though. When he's like, I was just lonely. But he doesn't understand.
Yeah, yeah.
I really enjoyed him, though. I like how he knew everything that was going on, because he apparently can see all. However, I was hoping that he would give us the prince reveal. At least, if not, we're in earshot of Kara, I was hoping, get your tail out of the shot. I was hoping that in the Hamilton scene, I was really hoping when he's talking about Mon-El and all these things that he would let slip that he knew he was the prince.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. I mean, again, it's like, it would be more of a, like we said before, it'd be more of a plot twist if they didn't reveal who was the prince than if they did.
Oh please, Terry Hatcher and Kevin Sorbo are going to be his parents.
Yeah. And it's going to be very cliche and great.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I loved Mixie, and I really enjoyed Kara this episode. I liked that she defeated him on her own. And I liked that she elbowed the robber in the face after saving him.
He's probably now dead. Or in a coma, lifelong coma.
She knows how to control it.
Sure.
I really enjoyed that. But one of my favorite things about Kara this episode is when she starts drinking the orange juice in the Fortress of Solitude.
I didn't see that.
What?
I think I was writing.
Ah. So because in the beginning he's explaining that I can't make you love me, and he just randomly references I can't make you drink orange juice. She shows up to the Fortress of Solitude, and he's all ready to marry her, and she's like, and sets the orange juice down.
I actually didn't enjoy her. I think this is one of Melissa Benoist's weaker performances. She was just hamming it up too much. Too much. She went a little bit too far.
You're talking about the bantering? Like the bickering scenes?
Yeah, pretty much everything. Just like her line delivery seemed off. Same with Maggie. Yep, I said it. Like,
I had a feeling we were going to fight about this.
Every time she said Danvers, it was like, it sounded really formal. Instead of, whenever she said it, it made it sound like she was talking to like a subordinate or something. Also, the rest of her delivery I felt was really wooden. Like when Alex shows up in the dress.
Okay, I disagree. Other than when she is in the prom scene, it was a little stagnant in the prom scene. I think that was due to time. I feel like that it was rushed. That whole scene was rushed. I feel like it was cut short. There was probably more to it. However, absolutely, completely, totally disagree with you, because when she is telling Alex about her coming out...
That's about the only time where she felt like she wasn't wooden. The rest of the time, the rest of the episode. And then...
It got me.
I didn't really care.
Of course you don't.
I mean, but no, it's just the whole... I have to have this, the whole cliche of I have to have a reason for hating this holiday. The
whole show is very cliche, and every storyline nowadays is very cliche. You gotta have one thing or the other.
But there's ways. I mean, you can spice it up, and or through acting, you can make it more, more tolerable. But
we're gonna have to agree to disagree because we're gonna run short on time. But I do have to continue on this. That scene, I feel Floriana Lima did a phenomenal job from the moment she reacts. Yes, as a character, as a person, she overreacts. And, she doesn't need to get upset, because I thought it was cute that Alex doesn't know her reason for not liking Valentine's Day. She didn't tell her that she actually has a story, that not just that I hate the manufactured holiday. And I thought it was a good idea that Alex should make it...
That's my expression.
The just long sigh.
Yeah.
My dog just said a long sigh, and that's how Jadon feels. But that Alex wants to make it their day. That's because that's a cute coupley thing to do. It's like, oh, well...
Yes, because no one else thinks of making Valentine's Day their day. But...
What do you want her to do on Valentine's Day? There's literally nothing not cliche to do anywhere. Okay,
I know.
Let's have a big, giant proposal of marriage. And there is nothing original anymore.
And as I said, I usually hate Valentine's Day episodes.
Anyways, I thought that Floriana Lima's acting was spot on when she comes in and gets upset, and the whole scene, and when it hit me when she delivered it. And I also believe that it was it's new canon. I think the writers have changed that, because when she comes out to, again, I've seen these scenes far too many times. When she originally is helping Alex come out and tells her, my parents were okay, it seems way too genuine. And I feel that had the actress known, had Floriana Lima known, I feel she would have played it slightly differently. So I think that's a new development that they have, which I'm glad though that they brought it up, because when I saw the clip that they were going to say that's how Maggie got outed, I was like, wait a minute, her parents were nice. Like, are we gonna find out? Are they just gonna skirt over it? But they immediately addressed it, and she said, I lied. And whether it's good to lie or not, she was doing it from her heart. She was wanting Alex to have better.
Yeah.
And that sort of thing. But no, I loved it. And
so it makes me sad, because I actually like the spin that, my parents were actually pretty okay with it.
Right.
So, but
yeah.
Okay.
So it's different.
Other things that I had a problem with, just real quickly, was that it seemed like a running problem throughout all the shows this week, but the dialogue throughout the episode was just not good at all. There's a lot of exposition things, where it's like where Wynn was talking to that, I think her name was Lyra or something, and she was they're like all talking about Starhaven or something. Did they mention that before?
Mentioned what before?
Starhaven?
No. So you have brought up, is it the League of Superheroes? Legion of Superheroes?
Legion of Superheroes?
And I cannot take credit for this. I read it on a YouTube thing. that Lyra is possibly so-and-so from Starhaven who is in the Legion of Superheroes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yes, please, because then his theory is that Mono goes away with the Legion of Superheroes. Please, please, please.
I really loved the last scene with Carl.
Oh, I loved her. I loved Lyra. I loved Wynn. Two things. One, she looks very Buffy vampire.
Yeah, yeah.
So much so. It kept taking me out of it. Two, I know this is a Valentine's Day episode. Wynn's scenes and that storyline in this episode completely seemed out of place to me. And seemed rushed.
I disagreed. I mean, maybe a little bit on the rush side, yeah, but I really enjoyed it, because, like, I enjoyed it. Yeah, I mean, but it's just, his was, like, the most, I enjoyed the most out of all the Valentine's Day storylines, just because he feels more human, because he's more human.
Come on, guys, he's Xander from Buffy. He's gonna date all the aliens and the demons.
Yeah. That's a good point.
I do though. I feel like the Wynn storyline just didn't fit this episode, and that it could have had more justice in either maybe the next episode or something. Maybe we'll find out that's why they're introducing Lyra, that she is part of Legion of Superheroes and such, and they had to do it for a time crunch. But I don't know. It just felt rushed. The Sanford scenes and the Wynn scenes all felt horribly rushed, and I think that took away from the performances and it took away from the meaning of it, in my opinion. So shall we just jump right into Caramel?
Yeah, I wanted to address how she beat Mxyzptlk, but...
Oh, well, that's part of it. But I mean, I love the way she did it.
I hated it.
Why?
It was stupid. Just because... Okay,
how else are you going to get him to say his name backwards?
Superman's done it dozens of times. Making the assumption that for him, writing his name backwards is the same as speaking it out loud, when it's just like that for a couple cultures, like John said. So I thought that was a really dumb way to, I guess, resolve the issue of him being there.
I disagree.
Because I don't think that rule applies. Unless he had said early in the episode, I am one of those races of aliens or whatever that's considered writing to be the same as speaking.
I feel that writing is more significant than speaking because it's there.
Yeah, I mean, it's
physical.
I don't have a problem with the concept, but I just have a problem with the concept of it being the way that she beat him. I just don't. I think it's always, as far as I know, it's always been he has to speak the name backwards. He has to actually say it. He doesn't count if he writes it or whatever. So I didn't like that. And I just didn't. I thought it was really dumb how they made Mon-El and Mxyzptlk really stupid. Like, they didn't know that she was just playing along.
Yes. I will, so some of the parts of Melissa Benoist I feel that were forced and didn't come off as well acted to me or well delivered are the parts, the end scene with Mon-El. When she's explaining that I didn't mean it, I fooled you too. That whole scene felt awful. And God,
it was just
stop with the will they or won't they. We don't need, that's what I'm talking about. Like we had 4 minutes at the end of the episode that could have gone to Wynn or Sandvers and made their storylines feel not so rushed and not so wooden. Instead, we have 3.5 minutes of them slowly talking. It's not tension. It's not fun. We're not like, kiss or don't kiss. No.
Although I really did like the scene, probably because of the music, which was a great cover.
It was a good song.
Yeah. And I just I really felt their chemistry. Even though the dialogue was not the best by any means.
Alright, I've got to do my Mon-El rant.
Okay, do it quickly.
I know. I have not done a Mon-El rant yet. I do enjoy Chris Wood. I actually enjoy Mon-El's character, and I have completely... I do not want them together. I think they're awful. And, however, I thoroughly enjoyed their bickering. When they are arguing in the DEO, okay, obviously the whole DEO knows that Kara is Supergirl because she's now dressed as Kara the whole time. And she's yelling, I'm Supergirl. I thought the actors did a really great job, and it was funny, and I liked that it was over the top, and these things. All of the things that Kara says while she's angry about how Mon-El is, and then he even says life was better when I was objectifying women.
I love that line.
I loved the line, And I really do, except for don't, one, you're all about women power and feminism and stuff, then why are you putting her with him? He is misogynistic, he is immature. How are you going to get randomly jealous of an imp, of a magical creature that wants to marry you? Really, he believed she was going to marry him? Come on.
Yeah, that's my problem, is they made him stupid for no reason. Like, overly stupid. I mean, he's not the smartest guy.
No, he's not.
But, like, this was just like, what?
But he's selfish. He says, when she says, Mixie and I can save the world together or something, I thought we were going to do that. No! You want to be a hero one episode, no hero the next episode. You're so back and forth. What I want, you want to bring Chris Wood, you want to... Let's have them keep that dynamic of, we're going to work together, but we're gonna be angry, and Kara and I we're gonna fight, and I'm gonna call her self-centered sometimes, and I'm gonna call him, you know, an egotistical man-child. Let's keep that dynamic where they have to be reluctant partners because he is a half-ass hero that, you know, oh, you're gonna come in and save the day when you want to. I will watch the whole season with them having that dynamic. I do not like them together for so many reasons, but all of the ones Kara listed.
I also like the reasons he listed.
Oh. Yes, sometimes she does have a double standard in these things. She's not perfect. She is still learning. But why would you want to be with somebody who, first off, you're arguing all the time already, and two, does not ever listen to you? Just completely does what he wants. Oh, and he tells Mixie, she's with me, buddy. You guys haven't even really kissed yet, and you think that you're together already? There are so many bad things about this, and I am wondering if they are writing all this and creating all of these tensions, and if the writers have no intention of having them together in the end.
I don't think so.
And that they really just want this conflict. All right, real quick. You Are My Kryptonite is not romantic. Love should not be a weakness. It should be your strength.
It's always been a double-edged sword. It's always been portrayed as that. Love can weaken you, can be weakness, and it can be your strength.
I don't like it. And here's the parallel, and I am not a super core shipper, Lena. I am not a Lena Kara shipper.
Ugh.
However, Lena, one episode ago, says, you are my hero. And Mon-El, her love interest, says, you are my kryptonite.
He doesn't mean it as a, like...
Nope, don't care. It's not romantic.
Wow, okay.
Nope. It was
Alright, let's move on. So this week we had The Flash, Season 3, Episode 13, Attack on Gorilla City. So I really liked some of this episode, and again, it's like, I don't know, I really liked it. I was torn on it, I really liked it, but then I also really didn't like it, mainly for dialogue reasons, and some of the action scenes.
Oh, what's up with all the slow motion?
Yeah,
The only scene I liked that was part of the fight scene is when Barry trips.
I did.
That looked so painful.
Yeah, if we're gonna talk about the action scene, what I did like was the reverse flash. I don't even know what really to call it because it was like wasn't really a punch.
Oh yeah, but it's just one hit to defeat him.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. I do not know what to call that. What he just did.
Reverse flash.
Yeah, like that's another reason, like another example of bad dialogue. Like reverse flash him. It's like, what does that even mean? Someone wrote in the comment section, reverse flash him. Oh, so go back in time and kill his mom. I thought that was awesome. Best comment ever. But I don't know what he did, but it looked really cool. It was really, they pulled it off really well. It was one of the few shots during the action scene that I thought looked really good. But if we're gonna talk about the action scene, I don't know. So I really liked the sets in this episode. Mm-hmm. The way that they made Gorilla City look really lived in and different, and very ancient. But it's seeing the gorillas in action didn't look that great. I mean, when Grodd was just standing there, especially Grodd because his fur wasn't white, the white coloring just made it look weird. But when Grodd was just standing still, he looked really good. You can see like the hair on him looked really well done. But when the apes were in action, when he's like fighting Barry, it did not look good at all. And it was just another example of plot armor, I guess you would call it, as far as the Flash's powers, because all of a sudden a gorilla that's moving so much slower than he is
right.
can knock him around.
I was like, what is this? I watched the whole episode, by the way.
Oh, great.
Yay me. Watched the whole episode. And, so, okay, what was I doing? Oh, so why do the telepathic gorillas need to take over someone and speak through them?
I don't know, because that bothered me, because they would do that. And
it's
then
just to showcase that actor who I don't like.
We'll get to that. But what for me, with that, I really appreciate. I didn't know what was happening. I mean, it was kind of dumb that they would talk through them, and then they would walk in, and then they would talk by themselves. I didn't understand that, but it's also another way just to cut out the CGI and not, so we're not staring at this creature.
Okay.
Same reason why they didn't have the Martians on that one episode.
Well, I thought maybe his telepathic connection is one person at a time, or can he speak telepathically to all of them at one time?
What do you mean? Like,
so when Grodd is speaking in the room and he's using his telepathic,
yeah, he's speaking to all of them.
He can, so then it made no sense.
It doesn't make sense, but I appreciate it that they cut out CGI.
Okay.
But most of the things I really liked were either Julian and his. Totally forgot that he's in Rise of the Planet of the Apes. He's the dick that tortures Caesar and the other apes.
Oh.
So I totally forgot about that, but just like his excitement of you're going to the Planet of the Apes. So you're going to the Planet of the Apes.
Well, that's even funnier now, because I thought that was a really cute little.
Yeah.
He's so excited. He's like.
Yeah, it was great to see Indiana Julian, I guess you could call him. So I loved all of that, and I loved everything involving Gorilla City and like the sets and everything.
How are they dampening their powers?
See, that's another case of bad dialogue where I just became so bored listening to it that I just completely didn't even hear that part.
Well, they didn't even explain it. They just said the cells must be blocking our powers. They didn't explain why.
Yeah, I can't remember where they said it, but basically, I mean, you're able to get the gist of it later on, but I didn't need.
Okay. While we're talking about that,
excuse me.
Why does the one speedster need to come over from her world to get another speedster to go defeat the gorillas if she's not going to go with him and they team up together?
That was another.
Why does one speedster flip the other? And then on top of that, why do all the other teammates need to go? It was a plot device to get them. Well, he has to take you there.
Yeah, he has to take them there. But that's what I wrote down was Barry tells Jesse that she's not going back with them. So he tells her she's not going back to her own world, okay? One that she is the hero of, and that she knows the layout of. She knows the history, and she has the home field advantage. And he's going to leave her behind because plot. Yeah.
So that she can have her moment with Kid Flash and leave her world.
Yeah. I mean, that was another thing.
But it was an obvious plot move to get all of them on the planet.
Yeah.
And it was just a little too much for me.
That leads to some of my other dialogue problems. I came to the conclusion that Wally is an a-hole.
Oh my gosh, his suit is awful!
Okay, it's not his suit was the best thing probably.
But I can't.
But the whole mess with Kid Flash.
Right.
Or what was the other one? I wrote these down. He's like, just a second, and then he beats up the bad guys, and he comes back and he's like, I had to stretch my legs.
Yeah.
Like, you're attracted to this?
Right? It's kind of like Kara's attracted to Mon-El.
It's worse.
It is.
He's worse.
Because he's not as attractive.
Sad.
Well, he's not as funny either. Like, not physically attractive. He's not as appealing. There you go.
Yeah, he's not even...
Charming. There we go. And now they're madly in love, and you complete me.
If anything, they were really good friends who sort of liked each other. But now it's like, you complete me, and my world isn't complete without you.
Yeah.
And her line was, you turn my world, Wally.
Oh, God. I'm glad I tuned that
Bad stuff. Just, Speedster's Honor was another terrible line.
Oh,
that Barry dropped.
Yes.
This, some of the worst dialogue I've ever heard out of the show, or any show on this channel.
Flash and Legends dialogue issues and predictability. again, why does this one speedster need to come over and switch places with another speedster? Blah blah blah. Also, let's look at the headlines that we're supposed to avoid. We all know that you're going to make them happen, and sure enough, him going there falls right into making the headline happen.
How stupid can you get, Barry? I mean, yes, they saw Soliver knock Grodd around, but he deserves it. He's Grodd. He's a dick.
Yes.
So it's like, oh, we feel bad for him now. Let's help him out. It's like, no! I actually really like that.
Also, Central City doesn't have an issue with 500 versions of the Flash showing up all the time.
No, they love the Flash.
Well, but, okay, so you have Barry Allen, and then now you have Kid Flash, and then now you have a girl Flash. I can't put words.
It's happening throughout the entire series. Like, a Flash will come in and then help out the other Flash. It's pretty common.
Okay.
And the people love the Flash and they trust him, so it's not like Arrow where half the time they think he's a killer. So.
Well, he is.
Yeah, he is. The one other big complaint that I have, okay, besides Barry just being stupid, it goes back to CGI. Again, this also connects to Supergirl with the Parasite. Just get it. It would work so much better. Like for the Parasite, just get a big stunt actor, big muscly guy, and put him in a purple suit, and give him a grotesque mask, and make everything practical with him. Mm-hmm. We don't need a big giant CGI monster. That was another thing that I hated about Supergirl was the giant Jor-El statue that growls.
Oh, that was awful.
That was really stupid.
Yeah.
I always mention Zack Snyder because he's a genius. But with his action scenes, what he does is he has the actors played out, and then they add CGI to it so that you can mix it really well. And so, like every time Barry got hit or slapped around, he looked like a rag doll. And then you'd have this weird CGI thing laying on the ground or whatever. What Zack Snyder does is he'll actually like connect lines to the actor, and then he'll get them thrown around or whatever, and then they just film that. And then you can have the CGI character get hit, and then the real person hits the ground.
In theory, it would be nice, but you also have to remember
it's TV.
Yeah, it's small scale, time crunch.
Yeah, but it's also, I think, would be cheaper still to have practical effects. But it's just something that continually bothers me. It just bothers me. Just too much CGI.
So who's the girl at the end?
So that was Gypsy. Cisco's girl that he
before.
likes. Yeah. Which also begs the question as why he needed Grodd needed Cisco in the first place.
Maybe Gypsy came after.
I guess, but that's just, yeah.
That's what I took from it, is that she's either stumbled upon his world, or for whatever reason we might find out I was just like, whoever this girl is just showed up and was like, hey, I can help you. Maybe she hates Barry Allen.
But she's she's like a cop though. I mean,
maybe we'll
she stops people from crossing over and stuff. But just the way that he said it made it sound like he'd had her the whole time. But what you
I disagree. He said, now I don't need Cisco. I feel like she came into the picture after.
Okay. Alright. That's all I have for this episode.
Well, what about Caitlin and Draco?
Oh, I really like it.
His whole I live for danger, I was like, this is either really, really horrible or something's going to get revealed. And sure enough.
The way he pulled it off, like, any other actor would have made it seem so cheesy. Like,
yes. Oh, he just made it seem like he's a huge dork. Gun. The gun part was stupid.
I actually really liked it.
When he pulled out the gun, I was like, he looks so uncomfortable with the gun.
I think he managed to pull it off better than most people would have.
I liked how he showed up in his little expedition outfit. And now that I know he's in Planet of the Apes, I get the trust me comment. Okay. Oh. But no, I thought that was really cute that he went there to make sure that she was okay.
Yeah. I really like those two. They're developing their relationship really well. And also Cisco had a really good line. We already did your damn dirty work. As a callback to the Planet of the Apes, get your damn dirty hands off me.
Oh my gosh. Job. HR is horrible. Please kill him. So he's not even a genius. He's just some horrible con artist. I didn't know that because obviously I'm catching up. But just kill him.
He's useless.
I love when these damn TV shows make me say kill people. Like when we did our Game of Thrones, I wanted to kill the children. Walking Dead makes me want them to kill children. I don't even watch that show anymore.
I do. It's great.
I didn't hate this episode. I was a little bored throughout it, and I think that's probably going to be how it is for me for a minute until I can get a little bit more invested. We obviously know Supergirl's my favorite show right now, regardless of all the issues. Even more so with the lesbians in it now, and all these things. So I'm here for Supergirl, and each episode I'm still invested in, even when I'm kind of like, what the hell? But yeah, I felt like I was a little bored, but not as bad as before.
Yeah, I as much as I'm griping about it, I enjoyed it for the most part, but also had things I really didn't like. One of the worst lines. Fear me, Julian. Where Caitlin's talking to...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, terrible. Let's move on.
I don't know, the line might have fallen flat, but the message of it was cute.
The message was good.
And his reaction, okay, want to go get drinks?
Yeah.
He's cute.
Alright.
Anything else on that one?
I think that's it.
Arrow?
Yep.
So apparently last week on Arrow, the theme was guns. Can you guess what the theme was this week? It's another 4-letter word.
Sin Eater.
Sins. Gosh, when you were just every character is saying sins, sins, sins.
I wrote that down.
It's like, we get it.
For real. It was. I think they said this was the lowest ratings of, at least, was it this season or like the entire, not the entire series, but I know that they hit an all-time series low or something for this episode for the ratings. And
I didn't hate it.
I didn't hate it either.
And
I really enjoyed it actually.
Yes, I totally just blanked.
So let's just go through with the episode. So in this episode we had China White.
Oh my gosh, that's right. And I was like, who are these women?
Yeah,
and then I slowly came back.
They had Tara from True Blood. That I absolutely despise. And then we had young Mama Winchester as Cupid. She was she played the younger version of the Winchester's mom in Supernatural.
Oh, I'm like, what?
That's why I know her from.
That's the same actress from. They're all the same actresses from when they originally came on.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we had them. They broke out of prison, which was terrible. The whole scene was terrible. But we had that going on. They were. I can't remember what they were trying to find. They're
trying to find money that people know is there that no one else is trying to find this whole time.
Yes. We also had Susan straight up ask Oliver if he's the Green Arrow. So we had that.
Probably my favorite parts of this episode.
Yeah. And then Thea is the worst kind of person.
Thea is Mama Queen. That was so. I liked that too.
I loved it.
We had Quentin, Quentin Lance had a little over the top with Liza.
Yes.
What is her last name?
Liza Warner.
Warner. Okay, Lizer. That's what he calls her. Lizer.
Yeah.
His accent comes out a little on that one. And that's pretty much it, right? Oh, and then we find out at the end that Oliver is being outed for the cover-up.
Yeah. So we also have he talked to Prometheus's mom.
Oh yeah.
Or whoever we think is Prometheus. And we also had. There was something else.
The quick Black Canary reveal.
Oh, yeah. And then we also had the ACU was trying to bring in the Green Arrow. So I thought it was a really good episode, except for the girl gang part.
Yeah, it felt. Why is it there?
Yeah, it didn't really flow with the rest of the episode.
Why are we seeing them again? What is this? What is the point of this?
I thought it just would work better if you had the whole episode of what's going on with the Green Arrow and his identity, and you had the ACU tracking trying to hunt him down.
Yeah, that could have come out right at the beginning of the episode, and then seen him struggling. Then we could have seen how he was unable to fight the girl gang. But it just kind of felt like this side filler plot because the Wild Dog and Curtis were the ones taking care of it, and we barely saw them, and that sort of thing.
Yeah, just like the whole girl gang, their dynamic, they didn't have any chemistry together. I have no idea why China White was following orders from this random cop lady.
Yeah. Especially a cop, like she's gonna...
That whole prison bus sequence was just dumb. So let's talk about Oliver and Susan, and everything that happened with them.
Yes.
I loved his reaction to being asked. Like, I love that they, first of all, just cut through all the BS and she just asked him straight up, "Are you the Green Arrow?" And he's like, "Yes," immediately. Yes. I loved that.
And spoiler, pause, and you've told me that eventually everyone knows it's Oliver Queen.
Yeah.
And I thought, what? Are we going there? I mean, for a split second.
Yeah.
Split second.
And they still could go there.
They probably eventually are, but I thought they were going there now.
Yeah. But I mean, that's since been retconned since 2011 when everything got rebooted. So, but yeah, at one point everyone did know that Oliver was Green Arrow, and he was also still Mayor. So. Okay.
So let's talk about Susan in this.
I really liked her.
Agreed. We've discussed though, has this been her plot all along, or did she fall into a relationship with Oliver, and these things have come into light since then? And I don't know if it is the actress playing it this way because of the story, or if it is the character playing it this way for manipulation. But to me, when she was in there with him, she was playing it like she has been in a relationship and is finding this out and is struggling because she wants to be with him, but she's also a reporter, and she doesn't know if she wants to be with a vigilante.
So I actually read some last week I read some interviews with Stephen Amell and him talking about it was before the season even started, but he was talking about the new relationship he was going to have, and he was talking about how at one point he had Summer Glau's character, that whole fling, and she was just manipulating him. She was just with him to manipulate him, and then he had other relationships where it was the opposite, and he was talking about how with this relationship with Susan, it's very much what you just said, is that she's just a normal person doing her job, and she's conflicted because she has feelings for him, but she also has a job to do.
So then she hasn't been playing him the whole time.
Yeah, so what we've seen is what for her, what you see is what you get. So. Okay. But yeah, I thought the actress did an amazing job with it. I feel terrible for her.
Oh my gosh, that scene when her whole career.
Yeah, that's
and Felicity and maybe she did just put a few things, but she says there's tons of incriminating evidence on my laptop, and Felicity's like, yeah, Thea just had me put a few things on there.
It's like you didn't know.
Thea.
The whole concept is just messed up.
It is, and when he says that it reminded me of someone, I had already thought about that. I was like, man, this is a very Mama Queen thing to do. And then he brought it up, and he's right. And she's like, I didn't know that she'd be fired. Come on.
Yeah.
It's a journalist that you just proved plagiarized 2 years worth of work.
Yep. I wrote that in my negatives, but then he said later, come on, you knew exactly what you were doing. You knew what you were doing, and
I was wondering too and I figured you were going to be all, Felicity is horrible because she just overstepped and did this on her own. It's Thea this time.
Yeah,
they don't even take it to Oliver and say, hey, she knows this is why, and all these things, and she has this incriminating evidence against you.
Although it helps with my Felicity being becoming a villain theory.
Yeah.
Because she was completely fine with it. She had no qualms about destroying someone's life.
Well, the way they said it, that Felicity didn't know what Thea was completely intending.
I don't believe that.
Maybe she was going to blackmail her. Maybe she just thought she was going to show Susan, you go out with this, I'll go out with this.
Maybe. So. But it still doesn't change that. I don't think she didn't know what she was, because she had to have known what she was putting on her computer. But maybe she thought it was.
Yeah. So moving on from that one, what do we think about Arrow or Oliver confessing to the cop? I'm
trying to figure out if I can't remember his name. I really like the actor though, but if he knows if Oliver's Green Arrow, because it was very obvious that. Mm-hmm.
Well, he makes the comment, that's what the mayor said too. When the Arrow tells him, I'm sorry about Detective Malone, that's something I'll have to live with the rest of my life. That's what the mayor said.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't have been surprised if he just said, so are you Green Arrow? Mm-hmm. Can we just put that aside? Are you Green Arrow? Okay. But yeah, that was my big question that came from all that, was does he know now? Which I'm totally fine with.
Yeah. Makes sense. I thought it was a really good scene, though, with him. I thought Stephen Amell did a really good job in this episode. Yeah. And so then what do we think about where are they going with this? Who leaked it? Did Susan leak it?
I think Prometheus did.
You think it's just Prometheus?
I wouldn't be surprised if Susan did, but I think it's Prometheus because he was also the one who set the police on the scent anyways. He leaked it to the police, so.
Oh, speaking of Susan real quick, I love the ending to their discussion. He goes to speak and she cuts him off and says, "Don't say anything if the next words out of your mouth are going to be a lie."
Yeah.
And he just...
It's great.
I don't think we've seen the last of Susan.
No, not at all. I don't think so.
I mean, she's Prometheus, so...
Stop saying that, people! Stop saying that, because I also saw theories now of like, Prometheus' mom is Prometheus.
Right?
No!
But, Quentin and Eliza and their whole story. How Thea has to tell him that, stop taking everybody's... Ugh. Stop taking everyone's sins for your own sins.
Yeah, gosh. The word sins, I'm so sick of that word now. I'm so sick of hearing that word. I loved it though. I've seen it used a lot, but you can't hold yourself accountable for other people's actions. So I really like that whole story. I just think it would have been better served in a different episode.
Yes. It's kind of a weird place. Just like the Wynn love story showing up. It just seemed weird to me.
I think it's a lot worse though.
Oh, absolutely.
But yeah, it was good stuff, just out of place. Curtis is the least intimidating person I've ever seen. Him and Wild Dog are interrogating this guy, and he's sitting there holding this guy like this. Mm-hmm. And it's like...
And his deep, annoying... I just hate Curtis.
There's had a really great line of where he said, "That advice would mean a lot more to me if it wasn't coming from Thea."
Yep.
That was great. Yeah,
and I love Quentin though, so I don't understand that. We're gonna move on. Yeah. Because he doesn't know.
There's a lot of good funny moments, like at the very end where he said, "Well, you totally understood."
Oh yeah, that's right.
Or when are you ever gonna walk into my office without saying those words?
Yes.
But other than that, I think that's it. I can't wait for next week.
I didn't watch the previews for that either.
Me either.
We'll see.
All right, Legends. So this was the Camelot episode. So they went back to the year 3000.
So they went to 3000, and then they went back to 507.
Yeah. Okay. So I really love King Arthur stuff. Just the whole mythos of it, the whole history of it. I love it. I love anything connected to it. And this didn't disappoint me.
So, real quick, we've talked about how we've both watched Merlin. Mm-hmm. As soon as they show King Arthur, I was like, oh God!
What is that?
And I wrote, King Arthur is terrible, I blame Merlin. And literally as soon as I wrote I blame Merlin, they were like, bring out Merlin! And I was just like...
I was like, of course it's a woman, but I was not displeased. I think I'm in love with Stargirl. Oh my gosh, she is gorgeous. Wow. For real. Oh my gosh, so much smolder.
See, that's how I feel about my Alex Danvers. That's fine.
Oh, but low is Kyler Leo. I said it.
No.
I said it and I'll stand by it.
Nope. Nope.
So I was okay with that gender change.
Well, and it made sense. Well, so Nate is talking about how we don't have Camelot is just a legend. Yeah. And then we go back there and it's to a T what we're talking about. So two things. One, it makes sense that she's Merlin and she flat out says, I just inserted myself and made it happen. And two, isn't that going to create a giant time aberration?
I guess so. But there's also the thing of like the whole thing of, oh, it was always meant to be. She was always meant to be Merlin. That was where her future was always supposed to lead to.
Oh, time travel.
Yes, time travel.
So what else happens on this episode real quick? So we have
so they go forward into the year 3000. They find that Dr. Midnight, and I say that very loosely because that was not Dr. Midnight. Mm-hmm. Don't kid yourselves. Don't let the CW fool you. So they kill Dr. Midnight and steal his piece of the spear. We also get introduced to those mind control devices, which Martin Stein decides to steal. I don't know what's happening to his character
at all.
But yeah, he does that. And then
Mick is rubbing off on him.
Yeah, I guess so. But they also go back to Camelot. Ray loves the whole story. Ray was me in this episode. That's how much I love this whole Arthurian legend. But then he also had the whole thing going on with Amaya and her not... I don't know what was happening with her and Sarah. I really don't. Their whole team before tactics and then not
yeah, they were very back and forth, and it was over like that.
Yeah, it was weird. We also had Guinevere. We were introduced to Guinevere. I totally called that. Her and Sarah. Totally called it.
Okay.
And then you also had you had Rip and
Damien Dark is the Black Knight.
Yeah,
I freaking love him.
He was great.
When he pulls off his "Hey guys," when he said "La la la," oh hey guys, he sees the legends there. Oh, his comedic delivery is so spot on.
It's great.
I love it.
Him and Mick Rory were.
Oh my gosh, Rory.
Were perfect.
I am in love with Rory now. Totally.
It's hard for me to say Rory because I still think of Rip as Rory from Doctor Who. So it's always like, is that the right character's name? Okay.
First thing I wrote down on my notes this week, in all caps with exclamation points, Evil Rip.
He's awesome.
Oh my gosh, he's so awesome.
He's so good.
And I'm in love with his portrayal of it, and he's doing a really great job.
Yeah, he's killing it. He's killing it. Let's see what else is going on. I just loved some of this dialogue. So at first I was like...
Some of the dialogue? I can go with some.
At first I was like, ew, gross. this version of Arthur is gross. But then he grew on me, actually, because he did
grow on me.
He's actually kind of awesome at the end. But he had this line of, "Do your worst, knave." I've never heard that outside of a book, but it worked so well.
Speaking of book, what's the fairy tale book that Nate's running around with? Why do I not remember this book?
I don't remember hearing the title of it.
It's what's being rewritten in there?
I don't know. All I saw was just pictures of Ray.
Yeah, but it looks like a fairy tale book, not a historical book. So I don't know. Maybe I need to go look back at that. So
Raymond of the Palms. Yes.
He's such a dork. He is such a dork.
And then that knight is like, it's like a saber of light.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's what I wrote. I wrote Iron Man plus Star Wars because he shows his hand and it's got ridiculous.
I really liked it. I loved it.
Okay, but we've talked about how this show does the ridiculous well, I guess.
Yeah, they really just do it. I don't know if it's because they fully embrace it.
Maybe that's what it is. I liked the "Why are you dressed like a leper?" And I'm not. He's so historical, and he's right. Everything's right. Your leper will have to stay outside. And how about them? So are they Nemaya, or are they Stixon? Nate and Amaya, or are they Steel and Vixen? What's their ship name? Because obviously we were going there.
I like Stixon.
Okay. I loved their little exchange at the beginning when he gets so defensive immediately. She's like, "So just stay on the plane." Is that what they call it? On the ship.
Yeah, just stay on the ship.
You don't want me to go? You want me to stay on the ship? And then they cut and they're still going at it when we come back to it, and Sarah's so done.
I don't see, like, I saw a lot of people that didn't like this episode and a lot of people that love this episode, and I don't see how it was that bad.
As much as I enjoyed Ray, and I understand that he's geeking out hardcore, and, you know, if I got thrust into a Buffy scenario, I would be Ray. 100%. However, some of his dialogue was so bad. It just, I cringed a few times.
I don't know, like, where you cringed, I probably laughed.
I laughed with several parts of it too, but, so some of that felt a little too much, and Arthur was awful. And when Guinevere's giving her a rousing speech to their army, it's like, that is the most ridiculous looking army ragtag bunch. There's like 20 people there.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be this giant army and this, that, and it's like, and the fight scenes.
I really like the fight scenes.
The beginning of that war was atrocious, and then when Katie Lotz gets there,
the slow motion of the legends showing up at the fight.
That was awful, and the Ray's leap was awful.
I liked it. At first I was like, and then
maybe I need to watch it.
It worked for me.
I don't know, but
the physics wasn't there, but
the physics were not there.
But it looks cool.
Like that jump and the sword is actually season 1 Supergirl, Alex, when she's in the kryptonite suit fighting Kara when she's under Myriad. That exact jump happens,
I didn't
and
see that episode.
Kyler Lee did it so much better than Brandon, Ralph, whatever. Some of the episodes of Arrow.
I liked the fight. I liked the whole concept behind King Arthur though. That Ray kept bringing up was I wrote it down. So we can all stand up for what is right no matter what. And like Harry says, you're supposed to die here. You're gonna die here, and he says that feels like the stuff of Legends to me. So
that was a good line. But also, like we talked about, the whole Amaya and Sarah, we've got to get the spear out of here. Well, Ray made his choice, and then Then they start bickering, and Mick and Sarah, the tension.
I loved it.
That scene.
What was his line? What did he say? Unthreaten me, Blondie.
Yes. Funny.
So good.
Funny, but it didn't miss.
Yeah.
Like I love the tension that was happening. I was like, oh, a coup. Sarah, I was like, they're gonna boycott. What is the word? Boycott.
Mutiny.
Mutiny. I was like, mutiny on the ship. And then Amaya goes, stop. Okay,
That
you're
was so
right.
weird.
And then Sarah goes, okay, you're right.
Let's go to the beginning though, because it's weird the way it starts. Is because they all get back. They don't. Okay, so Ray's missing, but they all get back to the Wave Rider, and she said, "Let's go." And she doesn't even check to see if anyone's there.
I know, she's not checking. And then Nate comes running in, and then that's when they ask, where's Ray?
And then it's like, oh, he made his choice.
Yeah.
And it's like, what?
And you're fighting a battle. Why is Firestorm not fighting this battle? If Ray can have a lightsaber sword, then Firestorm can be there.
Especially since they just bring the Wave Rider over the entire battlefield.
Yeah.
And everyone sees it.
So it's a little weird.
But the whole thing, like, Sarah, this whole episode is saying, oh, team over tactics.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I chose not to kill Rip, and she's trying to convince Amaya of it, and all of a sudden she's like, well, Ray made his choice, let's get out of here.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden...
Amaya flips,
and then Sarah flips.
Yeah, it was rushed, again.
It was really weird.
Mm-hmm. I really did like the scene of Sarah and Rip, though. Like, that was very... I thought Katie Lotz did a great job of that.
When he's on the ground?
Mm-hmm, when she's standing over him.
Okay. Let me just... The whole scene, the settings, the sets in this were amazing, the photography was amazing, and the makeup was amazing.
And the costumes.
Yeah, because they're all covered in blood and mud and everything.
Oh, she looks so hot in that scene.
She looked great, but not as hot as Stargirl.
Agreed. But Stargirl cannot move the way that Sarah Lance can move. But anyways, I loved it. I loved the angle. And when Rip says, just get it over with and finish me off or something.
Yeah.
And I really loved the exchange. I thought it was well acted. And she didn't have a whole lot of dialogue, just her body language and her facial expressions were great, and I really enjoyed that scene. Yeah.
I love how, like, when she walks up, he's just like, he looks up and he's like, oh.
Yep.
He played it, he's been perfect, like, since this whole season. The end scene with him and Jax, where Jax is... He was just bad this whole episode. His acting was not great.
See, and I did not hate this scene, though.
Yeah, but the scene was amazing because he's all, I'm gonna kill you or whatever if you step out of line or whatever he says. I can't remember what he says. But Rip's just sitting there playing it completely cool, and then just the way he says, "So Gideon, are you there?" And she's like, "I'm here, Captain. You always are." So good. Doesn't make sense that they let him have his codes still. Didn't change the codes or anything, but I love it.
Well, but it's Rip's ship. They didn't even know that he hit the little thing to disappear. So maybe they don't know to change the codes. Maybe there's something deep down that it's always going to be Rip's ship.
Yeah, there is that. Yeah.
It's definitely getting exciting.
But you get chills. Is like that. I want to watch that episode again.
Because he just, and it's not overplayed. Like the way he looks up and he just says it. He doesn't like try to go over the top with like his evilness on it. Arthur Darvill is doing a great job. Sarah and Guinevere.
Okay, so.
Okay, wait. Excuse me real quick. Does she say I enjoyed meeting you, Sarah Lance, a lot? Or does she say Lance a lot?
She says, I enjoyed meeting you, Sarah Lance, a lot.
Okay, and then Sarah
says, Sarah Lance a lot. So I was about 10 or 15 minutes into the episode, and I stopped it, and I texted Shannon, and I said, okay, before I finish it, even halfway through the episode, they're gonna make Sarah Lancelot, and Guinevere's gonna fall for her, and don't tell me if this happens yet.
Right. And I was asleep, so I didn't respond. So here's two things about that. We talked about queerbaiting an episode ago, and again, I'm very back and forth. So Sarah is bisexual, and she constantly... I feel like they actually do a pretty good job of just randomly bringing it up here and there. It's not, like, over the head. But every few episodes you gotta have her with somebody. And are they still trying to keep us there with just this random kiss happening? Or does it really make sense? Like, she won... I don't know. I feel like on one hand it's a little bit of fan service. And on the other hand, I also understand that, it's not like she can have relationships with these people and she's not going to sleep with anybody on the team except for maybe Snart. And, she wants to get some here and there.
Bring Snart back. Bring him back.
So, I don't know. It's very... But saw that coming. The minute they're sitting there talking at the table...
Yeah, the moment she sees her in the woods when they first meet, and she
it's
has that little smile.
And people have always speculated on her sexuality.
Have they?
Because any strong female character that lives in a man's world gets speculated on their sexuality.
Yeah, okay, that's very true. Usually with the CW, they say that's a fact. That's exactly how it is. So I was on the fence about it because, like, on one hand, I love this legend so much. I don't want anyone to dick with the Kool-Aid. When I first saw that Merlin was a girl, I was like, but I really like it. It makes sense. It makes sense to me. I really loved Guinevere taking a leadership role because she's always been a leader. Mm-hmm. And I'm glad that she also didn't... Because the CW has a way of saying, like, of showing how, white men are evil. White men with power are evil. But I like that how they didn't change the dynamic of, Arthur was a fool or anything. She fully endorsed his ideals and everything, and she looked up to him.
Well, I feel it's always been Guinevere and Arthur were one of the first power couples. That she wasn't just a woman on his side. They were always equals, and I feel they did a great job with that.
Yeah, I did. So to me, I didn't really need the Sarah thing. I fully expected it, but I didn't need it. But I also appreciated they didn't take it any further than they did, because I'm not a fan of superheroes committing adultery.
That's what I was actually going to say, because she did it in France too.
Yeah. With
that. They clearly pointed out that this is an arranged marriage, that this is a business relationship in my eyes. When Guinevere and Sarah are talking, there's no love talk, there's no husband talk. To me, they tried to explain to us that this is not a marriage. This is a... See,
I kind of felt both ways about it, because on one hand, because I got that sense that it was an arranged marriage and everything. It was very political, but I also got the aspect that they also don't have a problem with it at all, by any means.
Yes.
So yeah, there's that. And just really quickly.
Very quickly.
Okay, so there's been a whole idiotic theme between all the shows this week of we don't kill as superheroes. We don't kill. All of these heroes kill people, and Sarah says we don't kill people.
Oh my god, it was so... And Stein calls her out on it, though.
Yeah, I love that he calls her out on it. But then they go and they slaughter so many people who are actually innocent people, by the way. These aren't actual bad guys. They are mind-controlled. Yep. And they go and kill them. Yeah. Most of them, actually. So that was one thing that really bothered me, because it was something that was a running theme throughout all the shows. Because Barry kills, Supergirl has killed people, and Arrow has killed lots of people.
Supergirl hasn't killed people?
She's killed people. She's killed some of her bad guys. Find some bad... I'm sure if we took the time...
She killed Parasite.
I want to say she also killed...
I want to find out. But we got to get off of this. So thank you all so much for watching. We didn't have a comment last time, and I got so excited.
Yeah, she was very excited.
I did. I texted him immediately, and I responded immediately. So thank you. And I liked your insight because, hey, Jean doesn't fly as fast as Kara, so he just got there late. It's like, oh.
I don't think that's true, but...
But still, remember, whether they're right or not, we have an answer to the plot hole. So, but yes, thank you for watching. We get a little overboard with Supergirl. Maybe we need to fix that.
Yeah.
But I liked this week, and I watched The Flash.
Yeah.
Get Jeremiah Danvers back next week, and we'll see. Maggie meets the parents. Okay, thanks, guys.
Yeah. We also get Snart back soon. There's pictures of him and
Who? Snart. Oh yeah, he's coming back.
All right, so we'll see you later.
Thanks, guys.